All right, let's do it.
Gen Z.
Generation Z. The youngest are 12, the oldest are 25. We are the group that is taking the world by storm. As the first generation to grow up completely online, we have a different perspective on everything from mental health to news consumption. This shift has caused concern for traditional media outlets looking to connect with our generation. According to a joint study by the University of Oxford and Reuters, young people consume news differently. The role of news for young people appears primarily individualistic. It's about what it can do for them as individuals, rather than for society as a whole. Most traditional news brands are still not associated with being useful, interesting, or fun. Among the reasons for the shift, lack of relevance in the news agenda, negativity in the news, the same old formats, and just how negative the news cycle is. Professor Tara George is the head of journalism at the School of Communication and Media here at Montclair State University.
I have been teaching journalism to college students for 20 years, and there's definitely been some changes over those 20 years. There are three things that students, I think about when it comes to news. Number one is it's negative. Number two, they don't want to pay for it. And number three, there's so much of it, they can't tell the difference between what's good and what's not good.
And, of course, stress levels have shot up due to social media oversaturation.
College students at the moment do have higher levels of anxiety. They've grown up with a phone in their hand, and they are exposed to this massive amount of information.
Meet students Marielle Arroyo Cabrera and Ian Karaoke. Marielle is a sophomore with a love for rugby and dancing. I asked her about her news consumption habits.
In a way, because we're more pessimistic, or like we know that the news are pessimistic themselves and we don't want that much negativity.
Ian, a filmmaking major with a minor in business analytics, is more interested in the artistic side of life, but his news habits are traditional thanks to his parents.
My parents always grew up in the house, it was always CNN, Fox, ABC, they always watch the news. So I kind of saw it.
But even Ian can't resist the urge of social media.
So much of our lives are involved in our phones and online, you know what I mean? So a lot of the media we really care about, the news we really care about is what's happening with celebrities, pop culture figures, what's happening in, the big industries that are making a lot of money that people just kind of forget to care about the big world problems unless it's trending, you know what I mean?
When it comes to the switch from traditional news to newer, more personalized ways to consume daily news content, Montclair professor Christopher McKinley doesn't see it as necessarily a bad thing.
The 25% of people under 30 get their news from TikTok. I don't think we should completely dismiss that as a bad thing, because I think what it means is that there's newer ways in which young people can get exposed to news content that maybe previously they would have never even come across.
Wow, guys, that was stunning. Can I just say, this is a funny joke. So the guy that they interviewed was Ian Karaoke. And your name is Ian Love, Ian. Whoa. So hear me out.
No.
For the love of karaoke,
Please don't.
you guys should collab.
Please don't. That should go on happy hour.
I think that was so good.
Happy hour.
Please, that was so good. You know it was. It's okay to appreciate my joke.
I'll give you a.
It better be a 10 out of 10.
Clap.
Ooh, half clap.
That was just evil.
Honestly, though,
I'll remember that.
It wasn't not warranted,
You know,
Love you so much.
that was so good. For the love of karaoke.
For the love of God, get into the first story, please.
You're awful.
Love you.
So NJ elections 2022. Here's everything you need to know about voting and the candidates. Election day is literally here. Voters today will finally answer the biggest question hanging over New Jersey politics for months. Will Democrat Tom Malinowski go back to Washington, D.C. next year, representing the 7th Congressional District? Having barely fended off a challenge 2 years ago from Republican Tom Kean, Jr. Malinowski faces the former state senator again, but in a much more difficult environment. Not only does the party in power usually face large defeats in a presidential midterm, congressional redistricting last year added Warren County and Townsend Sussex County to the sprawling 7th district, areas that tend to vote Republican. But that's not the only congressional race to watch. Democrat incumbent, I think that's the word, Andy Kim faces the prospect of an upset by Republican challenger Bob Healy in the 3rd congressional district in Burlington and Ocean counties. The deadline to register has already passed, and early in-person voting, which debuted last year, ran from October 29th to November 6th. Polls open today, Election Day, at 6 a.m. So they've already opened, and they close at 8 p.m. Vote by mail ballots can also be returned to your county board of elections or a designated secure drop box by 8 p.m. tonight. They can also be returned by mail as long as they are postmarked by November 8th and received by November 14th. It's voting day.
Woohoo!
I love that Lara's just standing
It
behind.
kind of snuck up on us, in my opinion. I feel like,
No, actually, though.
like, I was like, wow, today's the day, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I don't really feel ready, but I guess we have no choice now.
I've been doing a lot of collaborations with our news director here at WMSC, Hannah Cox, because they're doing their election night coverage, and it was just so random. She was like, midterm elections are next week, and I was like,
right.
oh, okay, that's amazing. I'm so glad. I did not realize how close they were, because I feel like there wasn't too much talk about it. Maybe I just don't pay attention that often.
That's true.
Midterms are still very important because the Senate and all are what really make the rules, and then,
Right.
the president just kind of signs off on them. No, nobody makes a big deal out of them, but they probably should.
They really should. And what I really appreciated was my supervisor, as some may know, I am an RA on campus, and they sent us a little flyer to send to our residents about like where to vote, because if you're a college student and you're living on campus, it's really difficult to kind of get off campus if you don't have a car, if you don't know how to use public transport and things. So I'm gonna say where polling locations are for our college students. So there's St. George Antiochian Orthodox Church, that's on Long Hill Road in Little Falls. That's more if you live on campus for Blanton, Machuga, all them. In Clifton, there's one at School 16, and in Montclair, there's also one at the Bradford School 87. So if you're on campus, those are the polling locations that are really nearby. And I think Lyft is also doing a thing too, where if you put in some sort of code, you can get like.
And we also have 2 places to put your absentee ballots, because you have till 8 p.m. tonight,
right?
Which is, one is by Machuga, and the other one is by Red Hawk Parking Deck.
That's where the other one was.
Yes.
Is it by the statue? Or
yes,
no?
I think so.
I think it's by the
around that area.
Rocky statue.
I'm sure you'd be able to find it. There's a mailbox there. And
honestly, if you're interested, your local RA or any honestly campus leader knows pretty much where they are. They can point you in the right direction if you're interested, and has all these resources, because I'm pretty sure this flyer has low-key been circulating anyway. Especially with the absentee ballots, since there's a lot of students who are from out of state or even out of county, right? And because like out of county, you still have to do your absentee because you're not voting. You wouldn't be voting in your county if you came and voted like by campus. So the absentee ballots are very important, especially when you are a resident on campus. So yeah, I mean, we just gave you all the information. Now that's up to you to do what you wish. Sometimes I wish that I could vote for Montclair, whatever. What kind of are we in? Essex? Or Essex? I just feel like I spend more time up here now. Exactly. You feel that? Yeah. I really feel like I spend more time up here. I don't know what the criteria is to be able to vote in a certain county. You have to be a resident of it. So technically, I guess like a permanent resident. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense then. Well, so shout out Camden County. Shout out Camden County. Camden County where Tari and I are from. So, although I don't know if I'm still Camden County. Is Berlin Camden County? Oh, are we Gloucester County? Maybe. I really don't know. TBD. Stay tuned to find out. Shout out to the counties. Anyways, shout out to the counties. Anyways, the counties also have been dealing with inflation. Yay! Because inflation has hit us hard in the past coming months. Honestly, arguably, a couple years. But it's one of the top issues for this week's midterm elections. So Like a movie monster in the 1970s, inflation is back and drawing crowds at the polling stations near you. Rising prices are the #1 concern for voters in the year's midterm elections, outpacing abortion, crime, and other hot-button issues. According to the latest from NPR polls, more than 1 in 3 voters cited inflation as their most pressing priority. Preserving democracy was a distant second. Republicans were seen as better than Democrats at tackling inflation by a wide margin. The election comes as consumer prices are climbing at near the fastest pace in 4 decades. Annual inflation in September was at 8.2%. That's down only slightly from 9% rate in June, which was the highest since 1981. The surge in prices has also fueled anxiety among Americans who are paying more for gasoline, groceries, and other necessities. Inflation was not on the radar 2 years ago. Inflation was of little concern when President Biden first took office, although the pandemic has definitely triggered isolated price increases for things like lumber. The overall cost of living was climbing at less than 2% per year. Wow. Not surprised here. Inflation. That, like, what more is there to say?
That's it. That's the tweet.
Everybody's tired of it. The past at least couple of months when we have endured the gas prices, grocery store prices are going up and things. People are tired of it.
You know what I was upset about?
What?
Is that the gas prices were finally starting to go down. And it was like a good $30 to get my gas.
Yeah,
again.
right?
And then I went to go get gas like 2 days ago and it was like $45. And I was like, where did that come from?
I think
what happened?
It was like,
I know
last time
that's cheap for other people,
like
but for me, that's
380
expensive.
ish, right?
Yeah, like around 370 something.
Yeah, it
380.
was lower at one point.
It
though.
was.
Right
It was like
now,
down
it's
to
around
like
there.
325 at one point or something like that, you know. And I'm like, $45. No, I know some people pay like $100 something for gas, and they like can't.
Insane.
Yeah,
That is insane. And it actually was brought up in the focus thing last night because a guy was saying that it kind of opened his eyes more to stop. You know, it was hard for him because he went on like drives to like calm his mind and all, and he couldn't do that as much
Wow.
because he was paying $100 for gas a week.
Yeah, that's.
You can't be doing that.
I wonder what car he had.
Probably like a truck or something.
Because
that's
it
my
is
guess.
hard when you have a car that really guzzles gas like those cars do. But I think if people want to have larger cars, I think, I like gas prices shouldn't be that expensive, period. But you already know that you're signing up for that when you get a big car like that.
Yeah.
But $100 for one tank.
Luckily,
You're
I drive
bugging.
a little car.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes $45.
My little Mitsubishi
which
does
is
me
even
well.
that's even a lot for me. Like when it was like when gas prices were like, under $2 and all, I was paying like $20 for gas.
Yeah.
And that was the time.
My little Mitsubishi, I still pay like $20-25 for my gas. I know, it's crazy. I don't know how. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed.
And I'm over here stressed. What?
I know, but I understand the struggle. I used to have a Toyota Camry and that would really guzzle gas and like it would do okay. But that was like $40 to fill that tank. But this, I don't spend more than like 25 right now and I'm living.
Wow.
Because, that RA stipend be a little tight,
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those paychecks on campus, that rec paycheck.
Y'all get paid more than me.
That's true.
Don't start.
But we're only allowed to work so many hours a week.
Okay, real.
Because
I mean, so
school's
am
like
I.
no more than 20 hours a week. And we're like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we were like even talking about in the elevator before as we were coming up here, we were talking about shoes and how like shoes are
yes.
You can't pay less than $70 for a pair of shoes at this point.
And it's like on top of inflation, it's just kind of insane how much value we put on material goods. So
and it's true.
And then when inflation goes up, those material goods that we value so much all of a sudden are absolutely incomparably expensive, and I don't get that.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, first of all, RIP to the sneakerheads. I know you guys are suffering. I don't know if any of you guys are sneakerheads here in studio.
Are y'all sneakerheads? Nah. No, I'm getting a lot of head shakes. No.
Good.
Good.
It would be rough out
Our
there for
pockets
you
are
right now.
okay.
Yeah. So while I check my pockets to make sure there's any cash left, we're going to go on a quick break here on the Morning Buzz. When we come back, we're going to have some more focus stuff. We're going to have some more talks about the midterms and all that good jazz. And it's still Emil's birthday. Happy birthday, Emil. Thank you. All right. So we're going to be back here on the Morning Buzz. Stay tuned.
Speaking of death, Do you know that someone made an Oculus Rift that could kill you?
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I
Hold on, like
Pause, reverse.
yeah. I said the thing. So, the creator of the Oculus Rift built a VR headset that could kill you for real.
For real?
For real.
For real.
Super for real. So Palmer Luckey, the creator of the original Oculus Rift headset, says he modified a VR headset such that it can kill the user for real. The provocative art project is inspired by the anime Sword Art Online, in which players who are trapped in VR die for real if they die in the virtual world. In the anime Sword Art Online, November 6, 2022 is the day in which the VR MMO goes public. And the same day, the players learn the dire circumstances of their situation. As the story goes, unbeknownst to those who join the game, the Nerve Gear VR headset they are wearing will kill them in real life if they die in the virtual world. They will also die if someone attempts to remove the headset from their real body. There's a long history of anime based on VR, Sword Art Online rose to popularity right around the time the Oculus Rift was starting to gain traction through its record-breaking 2012 Kickstarter. Luckey, the creator of the Oculus Rift, recounts the many people that asked him if he knew of the anime Sword Art Online at the time that he was getting the newly founded company Oculus off the ground. Not only did Luckey know of the series, but he also has become something of a mega fan, the kind that would receive figurines of himself and his wife dressed as the show's main characters as wedding gifts.
Wow.
That's kind of cute.
That is adorable.
Though Luckey's unique experiences with a VR pioneer, megafan Sword Art Online, and later founding a defense technology company, there could hardly be someone more apt to do what came next. On November 6, 2022, literally 2 days ago, that significant date in Sword Art Online, Luckey claims he made a headset capable of killing its users via 3 explosive charges that could be triggered if the player dies in virtual reality.
That's a lot to take in.
That is horrifying.
So is it so? I have so many questions. Legality.
No.
Questions.
The law.
So would this count as? I don't know if I can say this on air. I don't know. I probably won't. Would this count as death by self, death by other, or death by other self?
Interesting. Like, where would it hold up in a court of law? Because definitely this is going to court.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is probably one of those things where
Because like, yeah, you buy it yourself and you're choosing to do this.
yeah.
But also like the company made it to do this.
Our engineering director, Mike Foley, just said in our chat, blue shell.
Goodbye.
That's so real though. Like blue shell in Mario Kart, you're done.
You're done.
You are done.
Absolutely.
Finish line, you won't even reach it.
I think if you put me on Rainbow Road in a virtual reality, I'm done.
Immediately.
I'm gone. 2
Three,
seconds in, I'm gone.
2, 1, start. 3, 2, 1, goodbye.
3, 2, 1. Done.
Game over. Like, finish him?
Finish him.
Finish him for real.
Super Smash Bros. You're done.
Oh my
Wait, no, that's a great question though. What game would you immediately? No, what game would you immediately lose in?
All of them.
Oh, that's a good.
I think I have a better chance in Call of Duty than I do in Mario Kart, if we're being honest.
Really?
And I'm bad at both.
You know,
like playing chess though. Like
Oh yeah.
checkmate.
Wii bowling.
We bowling. Strike out. Dead.
Literally, strike out.
I wouldn't mind any game. I just don't want it to be Fortnite. I would
no.
really
Oh,
feel mortified
yeah.
to the highest extent if I got booted off this earth by an 8-year-old.
Wait, pause. So can we go back? Can we go back to what Ella said about Wii bowling? Okay, hear me out.
How do you lose in Wii bowling?
No, yeah, no, hear me out.
Exactly.
If you let the ball go backwards and all the people jump and spin, that's it.
Yeah.
That's game over.
That's
You're
not-
done.
Be gone within the 3 rounds.
If
You
that's
really
the
did
last
an
thing I
office.
saw before I went,
Wow. And then they all just jump and spin
Honestly,
and you're
no,
just
no,
done.
I
Th-
think
that
I
would
would
be
just
the
like
best
go
thing to
chill
see.
in Wii Sports Resort. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
That's so real.
Wii Sports. Oh,
Dumb.
Hi.
Lara just
Lara and Mike Foley are now in studio. Hi, friends. That was a lot. That was so much.
Okay.
Lara
So for
ran into Terry's seat.
yeah, and then I got dumped, but I
Not
shit out
getting
that one. That
dumped.
was a reflex.
I know.
It's okay. It's okay. But
Hi, friends. What game
Oh my
would
God.
you lose immediately?
What game would I lose in?
Here.
Yeah,
Barbie's Island Adventure on the PC.
you're canceled. You're done. You're absolutely canceled.
Oh, I have
What
a
are
question.
you about to play? Should I? No.
Oh, I think
Lara's gonna play something, and I'm worried.
Is it the desert?
What are you about to
The Mario desert?
do it. It's about the theme. Okay.
please do it.
That's all you're getting from me.
Dude, I wanted to hear the Wii Sports music.
Fine.
Just make it low and we could just talk
That's
over
the
it.
last thing I hear.
Okay, we can't go all the way up. Then I'm gonna have to put it in Spinatron. So then,
Yeah.
so no.
Well, the desert theme from Mario Wii. is
No.
expected.
Lara constantly plays the desert theme from Mario. No,
Just
they need a
little
sample
taste.
just so you know exactly what we're talking about, listener.
I need that Punisher meme here. Now no. Wait.
Let me tell you something.
I'm gating on the camera.
Ah, wait, what?
Everyone
There's
here.
a lot going on.
Hey. Chaotic buzz time indeed.
It's the messy hour.
Did y'all
Okay.
play video games when you were young?
GT
And if
I-
so,
Yeah.
what younger games?
I
did you
liked
guys?
Kirby.
Ooh.
One on the DS.
I liked Kirby on the actual platform.
Kirby
Oh, PS5 version? Or not PS5.
I was gonna say,
PS5.
five?
Okay, we're done here. There's
Here's the
so many
thing.
people in studio.
The most advanced system I had as a kid was a Wii. We had a Wii and a PlayStation 2.
We
Before there was I never had a copy of Super Smash Bros. For me,
I
it
love
was
Super Smash
always
Bros.
Marvel Legends, Rise of the Imperfects.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
I was so bad at that
Her.
game, but I still had so much fun.
Her.
Would you die in the game?
Yeah.
Ah. You know, at least you'll go doing something you love.
Now I really want to
know?
play Wii Sports.
What about like Just Dance? And then if you like move.
Just dance.
That's something I would play in.
Oh my god.
I would do
Okay,
that.
I feel like I could.
No way.
That would be. I would 100% buy the Oculus that does that
for
just
sure.
that.
Just to pop
Oh,
and lock
yeah.
and polka dot it.
And
all
then,
the way
and
to
then
go.
all the way.
Oh my god.
I think that's
You
the way to go.
do Just Dance to Stairway to Heaven, and it is literally a stairway to
That's amazing. Oh,
That would be cool.
That'd be really good.
That's
stunning. Absolutely brilliant.
so brilliant.
I think that was amazing. I don't know. So I don't know how we can come back from that. I feel like I
That's
need to
so
take like a
rough.
15-second break just to like come back from that. So we'll be back here on the Morning Buzz in literally like 30 seconds.
You know, for the sake of time, Ian,
Toad.
yes, Ian in his lovely newscast mentioned these really toxic toads, and we got to get into it because it's such an interesting thing. So the National Park Service wants humans to stop licking this particular toad, and it's just really interesting. Yeah, I don't think people were licking toads. I didn't
I
think
guess
so.
they are.
I guess
though.
they
I thought
are.
that's the thing on like cartoons that like they made fun of.
No.
Yeah,
it
you know, you
seems-
would
it
think.
seems to be that's not the case.
But you know, art imitates life. So go go into any park, and there's often reminders to refrain from going near, petting, or feeding the wildlife at all. Not licking strange animals, you know, was said to be a given until now. The National Park Service has added tongue contact with the Sonoran desert toad among its various warnings for park visitors. The agency wrote on Facebook this past week, quote, "As we say with most things you come across in the national park, when it comes to a banana slug, unfamiliar mushrooms, or a large toad with glowing eyes in the dead of night, please refrain from licking." The toad, also known as the Colorado River toad, is about 7 inches in size and carries a weak, low-pitched ribbit sound. But the creature is far from harmless. Sonoran desert toads secrete a potent toxin that can be making people sick if they touch it or get the poison in their mouth. Despite the risks, some people have discovered that the toad's toxic secretions contain a powerful hallucinogen. According to the state's Department of Game and Fish, in recent years, smoking the amphibian secretions has grown in popularity so much so. Yeah, girl.
What a moment.
So much so that the species is even considered threatened, at least in New Mexico, due to collectors that want to use the animal for drug
I have
use.
so many questions for this one as well.
What are your questions?
How many people have licked this toad?
It has to be a good amount. For
Also, how did we
For it to be, like-
discover?
Yeah, who was the first person to think, I'm gonna like that toad?
just like
They were
looking
like,
at-
it was probably like a dare. They were probably like, "Yo, bro, I'll give you $5 if you go lick that toad."
Not
and
at
then all of a sudden they're just wigging out.
And then they're like, "Whoa, dude!"
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm really
Is it just this toad that you're not supposed to
the
lick?
Colorado river
Yes.
toad.
to this.
You can lick other toads. Not this
You can
one.
have the toads you want, just like not this one.
Yeah.
Just not the
This
Colorado
one's just a
River
little
one.
too.
Yeah.
poisonous.
For all folks who can't get sarcasm, please don't do that.
I
That's not-
mean, if you want to,
if you want to, we can't stop you.
but I don't know why you'd want to.
But the National Park Service says don't lick this one at least. So
Also, not the one from Mario Kart. But that's-
yeah, if please don't lick Toad from Mario Kart. Consent is important. Consent is really
We're on a
important.
line right now. It's okay.
We are on a line, but
We are online. That's the internet.
we are online as well.
Whoa,
That's
that's
what
what
Meta
Facebook
makes.
is. Hi, MetaMate.
Hey, mom.
Hi, WMOCradio.com.
But
Hi.
I'm surprised that wasn't
I-
said in the grandma smoker voice.
I love. There it is.
There it is,
I
grandmama.
mean, but also you have to think about it. In some countries and all, people do eat frog, or like
That's true.
toad.
Like frog legs.
So
and
like
stuff.
yeah, they eat actual frog. Why
the
is Toad's
species.
legs so long? Anyways, continuing on.
It just depends on the species, but like
Yeah,
obviously
so
with
maybe
this
is
one,
more of them like, hey, don't take this one.
Yeah.
This one's not the one to eat.
I think this toad looks like every other toad, so I don't know how people are supposed to know which one to lick and which one not to.
Do you look at toads quite often,
Well,
Ella?
I look at a picture of it and I'm like, how is this toad special? Like,
I mean,
what
it
is she
must.
doing?
Look at a toad and say,
That's
"What's
not-
that look?"
Just not like any toads, you know? They're like, this one looks like every other one, so just don't do it. Thanks.
that yep, that's
He's a
yep.
big boy.
Yeah, he
Or girl. I
I'm
don't
like-
judge.
Ian showed me the picture at first and I was like, these things are like beefy.
They,
You
they
know,
are.
Like they're kind of like the broad shoulders and
This
stuff.
is
Like
a generic toad.
that'd be something I'd be a little
They
afraid
built
of.
different.
No, they're super
she's,
built
like,
different.
different,
Like I told you earlier, I would dap that dude up. Like I would respect him.
He showed my door. He can come chill.
He
Okay,
can come chill.
So basically, it looks like every other toad.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. How
Although
do you
this
know
one's
which one to
pretty,
lick?
although this one's pretty like thick, whereas
Mm.
these other ones are not as.
So you're saying the toad not to lick
So
is thick.
If you see a skinny
You're
toad,
done.
you can eat it. Basically.
Basically, if you see a skinny one, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not very inclusive.
We're all about body positivity here on the
Right.